Hello Chuckies and welcome back with another Star Trek Discovery episode review. Today we're going to talk about Season 2 Episode 3, Point of Light. Well, this episode was just... it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. I did have a harder time watching this episode than the previous one. The previous one was really good, it felt really Trekky, it felt really warm, it felt really like, okay, I'm watching a Star Trek episode. This one, more like a Game of Thrones, although I'm not really a big Game of Thrones fan. So this episode was really intense in many ways. We got to see some really crazy camera movements at the beginning of this episode, which left both of us, me and my wife, when we were watching it, we both kind of felt a bit dizzy after watching that couple of minutes in the beginning of this episode. It was just... wow. I don't know who was the cameraman or whose idea was that, just to make it, more engaging, more moving. I did not like that. This episode has two plots. We have the Klingons and we have Burnham with Amanda Grayson as well. In the Klingon side we have L'Rell and Ash Tyler / Walk keeping together the houses and trying to, make the Union a bit stronger than it was before. But a couple of things turn out to be disrupting the Empire and the current state of the Empire. Starting from Cole's father, Cole Shaw, he's not really believing into the way of how the Klingon Empire should unite and remain Klingon and just, build the Empire together and then go and march along the Federation and march against the Federation, especially in that era. So he wasn't really fond of this whole thing. And not to mention when we got to find out that L'Rell and Ash Tyler actually had a son, well, that's where things got a bit complicated. Obviously, unexpected things happened here, that Cole Shaw actually kidnapped Walk and L'Rell's son, and he basically wanted the Klingon Empire as a return for their son. We got to see a quite disturbing and rather disgusting fighting scene in this Klingon situation between L'Rell, Ash Tyler and the rest of the Cole Shaw house. I think for a Star Trek show, for a TV show, it was a bit too much. It wasn't for my taste. After this massive fight, freshly recruited Jojo from Section 31 came aboard, and he actually saved the day from the Klingons, and she actually got Cole Shaw into this bubble, something, gravity bubble, that L'Rell used it as, okay, you're not gonna get a weak point now, so I'm just gonna stab you in the stomach, and Cole Shaw basically got disembodied. And I'm not sure if anyone noticed it, but I'm not sure how a Earth fly can actually be indigenous life form in Kronos as well. So, that's a Klingon fly, so I shouldn't really, think too much about that. So after disembodying Cole Shaw, Giorgio actually pointed out that, hey, you have to be stronger in the Klingon throne, and you have to stay in the Klingon throne, you have to, guide the Klingons through this era, but Ash and the kids should totally disappear. So, they made up this kind of scene that L'Rell killed Ash, and then Ash killed the baby, and the whole betrayal. And L'Rell is not the Chancellor anymore, she claims to be the mother of all Klingons. I have a little bit of a trouble with Klingon history, but I don't remember anyone referring to a mother of Klingons. I could be wrong, I'll have to check it up as well, but it's really interesting how things are turning out in the Klingon Empire right now. Obviously the kid got transported down in a planet via Section 31 starship, and I'm not sure what's gonna happen with Tyler. He probably gonna join Section 31 because he can't go back to Starfleet, and he obviously can't go back to Kronos because everyone knows has he been killed. So that's kind of gonna be an interesting situation there as well. The other half of this episode focuses on Burnham and Amanda Grayson and their kind of, problem-solving situation, how to get to Spock himself. As we got to know from this episode, Spock probably killed a couple of medical recruits, doctors and nurses, which quite highly unlike him. If he really killed anyone in this medical facility, that it will be really interesting to see how it will turn out in the end and how we will get back Spock, having got to know him from the original series. Moving on, that was a really interesting situation, and there was a reference for the Red Angels as well, although we didn't really get to know more about the Red Angels, regarding the Red Angels. And they also got to see a little shifting between Burnham and Amanda's relationship, which I found really interesting, and my mind kind of started going on and off that if something happens with them in this season, that's why maybe Amanda is more fond of Spock in the original series and in the movies as well. So it's really interesting to actually see this little behind the scenes story, because how she's talking about Spock at the beginning, like I wasn't really a good mother and etc, and then now I have a chance to actually go to him and find him and encourage him in his studies. So it's really interesting to see that part of the journey as well. But it's not really a good news for Burnham, because she's going to get abandoned in a sense. She's not gonna be anymore Mommy's favorite. So finally, we got to know who's Tilly dealing with. This long descent and classmate turned out to be a fungus hitchhiker who actually was the Green Spore who we got to see in season 1. I'm still not really sure what's happening there, but we probably have to see how this connects with the Spore Drive and this connects with all the rest of the story in this season. I'm definitely really interested to find out more about that fungus creature. So yes, overall it was a really interesting episode. I did not enjoy as much as I enjoyed it the previous ones. I liked quite a few bits. I liked the interaction, how Tilly actually interacted with Burnham. I really liked the scene when Burnham and Tyler was talking and the cabin was kind of split between, so that is a really good production value there. And I really loved the humorous scene and the conversation between Saru and Tilly in the engineering, when Saru actually said that, hey, you're lucky, you're gonna still do this, and don't worry, Captain Pike has a sense of humor. So I think small character moments that I really enjoyed in this episode. So yes, that was my quick reaction review of the third episode of Star Trek Discovery, Point of Light. Please let me know your thoughts and in the comment section below. Let me know what was your favorite or least favorite episode, and overall how do you like this episode compared to the previous two in the comment section below. So please let me know, and then we'll start the discussion as usual. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and share the video, and don't forget to subscribe as well to receive all the geekiness every week. And until next time, live long and prosper.